go back here. Pull up ESPN over here. And then kind of go from there. How is NBA not started? But yes, we are live, and we will see what we get from the world of TikTok. See how this differs, if this setup works at all. And I'll probably be answering some questions for people as they get in here on whatever the hell they have, or just repeating them to you guys.
Cool beans.
But now you guys have moderator access to the chat. I don't know what that really does. So, yeah, enjoy that. Have fun. Don't do anything too chaotic. Looking at Grant. You're on mute.
This is an interesting setup.
It is a weird setup. What do you think?
Nah, it works. Does the job.
It'll do.
Yeah.
It'll do.
Just full screen the monitor, probably.
Trying to get this back a little bit further, like this. We want to keep it up and down so people can actually see the teams getting reviewed. And I don't want to go through them too fast, otherwise we'll fly on through them. Because we don't have that many queued up just yet, but we will see. Only 23 people in here so far. Damn, normally have a lot more than that, but we'll see.
Evident, you're up fourth.
Fourth? Right on. Brody, you are up fourth in this. Interesting. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of just get cooking here and kind of go from there. Maybe we'll learn a little thing or two about TikTok Live here, I think.
Let's get it.
It might just be a much shorter stream than we were initially anticipating regardless.
It's all good.
So,
Saw Gooch.
we got our first fantasy football team here. We got Lamar Jackson, Mondo St. Brown, Zay Flowers, Saquon, Isaiah Pacheco, Sam Laporta, Devonta Smith, Tank Dell, Christian Watson, Tajay. Very deep bench. Almost looks like a dynasty league, to be honest with you. I really like the team. I think the running backs are pretty much as good as it gets, at least to a degree, depending upon your viewpoint of Saquon. What's y'all's thoughts?
Do you think they have any room here to maybe try to upgrade at the wide receiver 2 position?
Yeah.
I see Devontae. I mean, there's been some concerns with Devontae, but he looked all right last game. So
I see them just taking, like, this team just looks like it's going to have one of these receivers pop off. I don't know if it's going to be Rice, Downs, or Watson, but it'll likely be one of them. But yes, I understand that you guys cannot hear all of everyone else, but you guys can fortunately.
they can't hear me or Jackson.
That.
Yeah, no, they can't hear you guys, unfortunately, but they will be able to hear the playback. Yeah, that's the thing that kind of sucks about this that I was telling you guys before. That I'm like, I think we could technically get more viewers doing it this way, and the playback will have yours because I am recording it. But it's like, it's a weird thing. I want to figure out a better way to do this.
The viewership is that much better when it's filmed like this?
So far, no. So far, this is a failed project.
I'm glad we're doing it then.
It's actually double compared to like what we normally have, but usually when I do a screen of some sort like this, it is around a couple hundred. So I wanted to give it a shot. But, yeah. Likely will not end up working. But going towards this team here, with my beautiful camera setup that I have, Um, I don't know. Do you think like I look at this team and I think it's just fine. Like I think it's gonna be really good. Like you got Christian Watson chilling with Rasheed Rice and like Tajay. One of those guys is gonna pan out, and Devonta can always go back to that wide receiver 2 spot. Nothing really too crazy. Grant's just giggling his little ass off.
Should I trade Godwin and Ferguson for Garrett Wilson and Pitts?
All right, screw it, Grant. We're switching it around. We're going to the other way. We're ending this live.
Let's go. Set us free, Wells.
Set us free.
Yeah, Wells is trying to silence us.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to start it from the top once again. I think this is the top, to be honest. Yes, it is. And you guys are just going to lay into this team. But it's still recording all in the one same session. But I wanted to give that a shot, see if there was any form of difference, and there wasn't. But no one in the stream.
It's weird that affects things so much. Can you? Is there no way to make the audio come from both of us into that stream?
No. Like, I've been trying to figure out, like, different ways to kind of get streams popular for us, and I was like, as soon as I saw the PC version, I was like, oh, I can just do the same thing that I do on the phone on the PC, and, like, we can, like, move around, I can show them how I come to different conclusions, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
How do we get access to live streaming? Because if we could just all stream from our own phones or whatever, it'd be perfect.
I mean, I think you just need over 1,000 followers for TikTok. I think that's what the requirement is.
Huh.
How do Grant and I get 1,000 followers each in 1 week?
I think we just got to come up with a firm content strategy between the three of us.
Ooh, lollipop. Oh, lollipop.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just 1 week of grinding, all you need.
No, like, but I do think that's something that, like, we will kind of have to, like, come together to a degree and just be like, all right, like, how are we really going to approach this? Because we have a bunch of sports, we have a bunch of content. What are we going to do? And I do think, like, because every single, like, brand I see has, like, influencers to a degree that, like, they've created.
Yeah.
That, like, no ball in their own right. Like, Jahmyr Gibbs having that late touchdown for Sir Grant. But yeah, we are back over here because I'm an idiot.
Can you pin my comment in there, Wells?
See, yeah.
Let me do it on the last stream, but it won't let me hear for some reason.
I don't know. Like, I wish that it was easy to be discovered on, like, Kick or one of those platforms. I think we just need to think of a different platform going forward. But
yeah, we'll get creative with it.
Yeah, we'll get jiggy with it. But yeah. Overall, this is a very good team, though, to loop forward. This was just a very 10-minute long session of one team. But I like this team. I think it's good.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you can ride this team probably. I mean, if a trade drops into your lap where maybe you can upgrade your second wide receiver a little bit, then I would look to do that. But otherwise, this looks like a perfectly valid team.
Have you guys seen that watermelon game?
No.
Scrolling through TikTok yet? That game's addicting.
No. Is it a real game or is it on your like a phone game?
It's on the Switch.
Yeah.
But it's a very entertaining
watermelon game.
Sweet.
I wish I had a Switch.
Sweet game. Anyways. Make sure I didn't click through on accident. We got Dak Prescott, Tony P, Bijan. Tony P, I don't know what's going on there. Dak Prescott looked great. I mean, this team's honestly cracked. Might have had a slow start because of JT specifically, but there's a lot of first round pick talent on this roster. I'm not too worried about it. Although I am a little bit curious to see how the Minnesota situation kind of plays out here. Because Kirk Cousins going out is a whole entirely different variable. Like, what do you guys think is going to happen now?
I think, gosh, it's so annoying how the whole Jettas thing keeps getting, misconstrued in my mind. Like, a day ago, I thought that win over the 49ers was going to be, the sign to kind of maybe look for Jefferson, get him into your lineup. Now that Kirk's gone, that's changed. And, Hawk is also up in the air. I'm curious to see what you guys, would you guys be selling Hawk, or do you think it's just not even worth it at this point and just have kind of a mid upper tier tight end the rest of the season?
Well, I think if someone's unaware of kind of what's going on, then you should trade him. But I mean, assuming you're the guy who you're trading with knows that Cousins is out and their backup isn't great, then I think you got to just ride it out, because the value is going to be at a low, and I think he still might be relevant even with a lesser quarterback. What do you think about the chances that the Vikings trade for Stafford or Justin Fields or something like that?
Isn't Stafford battling injury now too?
Huh?
Basically every quarterback is injured in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't really know who you can trade for that's going to be worth it. Jacoby Brissett, maybe?
Yeah. Jacoby Brissett's a good one. I think Justin Fields would be sick, but I don't think that's super likely. Maybe in the offseason, but I think that would be really cool.
That would be sick.
Could be. He's got to learn how to throw, though. Yeah, I mean, this is a great team. It's just there's just a lot of things up in the air with the TJ Hawkinson situation, realistically. Nick, if you would like your team rated, how do you get that done, Jackson, here?
You just go to our TikTok bio, and then there's the link to our Discord. Once you're in the Discord, just send me a DM at Jamario Moon, and I will get your team set up on this stream tonight.
Yes, sir. I should have drafted freaking Benson. I was going to be on Booch. I'm angry at myself. So many right plays done wrong at the end. But yeah, really strong team here. I like it a lot. Lamar Jackson, Bijan, Josh Jacobs. How does everyone... But this is also another one. It's do you really want to hold on to Cooper Kupp? Because it's Matt Stafford. What if it's more than
he's only day to day. It was a sprained finger or something. I think he'll play this week.
You think he'll be fine?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, end of the season or something, they might just throw in the towel and tank or something and start a backup, and then the value's not great there. But as long as Stafford's there, I'm comfortable, and the injury seems fine. He'll miss 1 week at most.
All right, I'll take your word for it. CeeDee Lamb obviously went nuclear in that game. I had a matchup this weekend, where the opposing team had both CeeDee Lamb and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. Nope, Brody, you have not yet. I think we've got one more. It's this one, then it's your team. But looking at it as a whole, yeah, I like it. I mean, just everyone has a super team somehow from the teams that we rate. I don't particularly understand it, but that's just kind of how we get here. Even though some of the players don't really always play super stars, unfortunately. I like the team a lot.
Yeah, I don't really know what I would say to change it. Perfectly good at wide receiver here. Not too concerned about Stafford. Running back, plenty of depth there with B-Rob and Najee, so good on you.
Evan asked if Hawkinson was a buy, and I genuinely don't know if he is a buy. with the Kirk Cousins situation.
If you get low enough value, yeah.
Yeah, situational.
Take a shot.
Situational value. I've got really nothing else to say. Like, this is just a really strong team. Even looking at the bench, like, you have so many things sitting on your bench that work well for you. Yeah, like, you can't really trade for anything much better here. I believe this is our friend Brody's team, if I were to take a guess.
I believe so too.
So we've got Stroud. Like, it just takes my breath away each time because I go to like read through it and I look through it and I'm like, oh great, like a team I wish I had. And yeah.
Yeah, this team is cracked.
And I would consider Olave more often than not in the flex over Henry.
He's just been so questionable, though.
Yeah.
What about Jacoby, though?
I mean, Terry McLaurin at this point has been going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what about, like, Jacoby in there?
You rocking with Jacoby?
I think I'm rocking with Jacoby,
am.
honestly.
Yeah. Yes, Jamario Moon is the correct person to DM Nick.
He's 3-5 now, so definitely in need of a couple wins here soon. The receiving core is awesome. The running backs are good. You just need a pop a week from one of those four guys, which I feel like is more than likely. So it's just, I don't know, it's a tough one. There's not really much you could do.
Yeah, I just kind of look at it like this. Your whole entire team was pretty much drafted here in the first 2 rounds. Your team's probably going to be pretty good.
He's down 25 tonight. Can he win? Yeah. I mean, like, you could. He's definitely projected to win.
Say that it's going to happen based off of who you have in right now, unfortunately.
You need 25 from Devontae, which is possible, but I'll give you like a 15% chance, maybe.
Yeah, 20. Like with the Devontae Adams, you generally have like actually a pretty good chance. You just need it to be a Devontae Adams night, which it could.
I'm down 30 in a league, and I have Gibbs and Jacoby Myers. I think I have a decent chance, but like 30%.
I kind of like your odds, Grant.
I actually think that's a pretty good show.
My boy Jameer.
Should you trade for a quarterback? I mean, with this type of team, yeah, I don't see why not. Like, Terry McLaurin's kind of looking like a thing.
Jacoby Kincaid you could get off of too.
Yeah, like there's a lot of options, and you don't even need to really trade anything. But like, you have a lot of options to mix in here to get a better quarterback if you wanted. Jackson, some people are asking exactly how to get their team rated.
All you got to do is go to the link in our TikTok bio, which is the link for our Discord. Once you're in there, just send me a direct message at Jamario Moon, and I will get your team set up and on this stream.
Yes, sir. But yeah, that's really about it for this game. We're trying to take a little bit of time here, get some time to get some new teams pumping on in here, and watch the basketballs. Mark Williams is having a decent game.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, I think he's got. Let's see, how many points does he have?
Marky Mark.
Marky.
No, he has 8 points and 2 boards.
Boards.
Oh, wait, no, that's not right. He has 10 points and 2 boards.
Wizards are getting obliterated.
That's not surprising.
Do we have another team in there? Or are we just waiting?
Oh, we do. I'm like, this is an active team right now.
I'm DMing with a few people right now, trying to get them set up too.
So, but yeah, this is another great team. let's see, and we'll plug ourselves on in here. Make sure Alright, yep, we got one right here. Another Lamar Christian. Jesus.
Yeah.
If anything, your flex. Yeah, no, super team. Congratulations.
If you're in here, I'm curious if you need Gibbs to put up a certain amount of points to win your matchup.
So,
You're probably chilling, though, based off of CD, AJ, and Brees.
You have 1, 2,
You could probably sit Gibbs and
3,
win.
4, 5 picks.
I mean, this has to be like a
That were in the
6-man
first
team.
round.
This is like a 4-man league.
In the first round,
You have
you
Bijan,
had
Waddle,
5 picks.
and Jacobs on the bench,
That's ridiculous.
and Laporta.
You're canceled. Get him out of here.
I mean, I think you just need to trade some of those guys, unless it literally is like a 4 or 6-man league or something where those guys aren't relevant. But if this is anything more than 6-man, trade all those guys for a elite piece.
This might be one of the most cracked teams I've seen in a minute.
Even sell high on Gibbs maybe, because once Montgomery comes back, his role won't be quite as prevalent, even though I expect him to be better than he was before. But some of those touches are going to dry up.
Like, yeah, go get Eckler, I guess, for this team. I don't really know. I think your objective with this team at this point should be like collecting the Infinity Stones and try to get every single player that was in the first round. Because you're pretty much there for the most part. Like, only thing you're really missing is
Jamar.
What flex? Actually, no, you technically have that, actually.
If you had Eckler, you'd have the top 3 running backs.
Yeah.
And like 2 top 5 receivers, arguably, going forward.
Yeah, I'd aim for like going out and getting Eckler.
Tyreek.
Like, that's really the only advice I have for this team in theory is to go get Eckler.
Austin Eckler.
Get Kelsey too.
Yeah, like,
Eckler was better, obviously, but he still wasn't great this week.
Yeah,
There's still a lot of room to
trade
go
for
up.
Kelsey. Literally, go trade for Kelsey for this team. Go collect the ultimate Infinity Stone team. Like, that's what you can do here. See if we have any more. We do have another. So, Infinity Stone team. Congratulations. We got Kirko 2 Chains. Pretty much rest in peace.
Whoa.
I mean, for fantasy football purposes.
Yeah.
I still really like this team. I can understand people aren't the biggest fans of Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave. People love Alvin Kamara at this point. I mean, yeah, your quarterback situation is probably your issue right now. I don't think Kyler Murray is going to be the guy going forward, but we'll see. I don't know what happened with Darren Waller, but word. Yeah, just pulled his hamstring again, so I guess his fantasy relevance is completely diminished once again, which is unfortunate. I'd go get Trey McBride. I think he's probably somebody to go pick up off of waivers.
You think he's relevant?
I think he will end up being relevant because isn't Zach Ertz like out with an injury of some variety?
Yeah.
Who are the other waiver guys you're looking at this week? There's not a ton.
I mean, I'd low-key prefer Royce Freeman just because I think he's a slight bit more talented. But like,
what about Leonard Fournette?
Leonard Fournette.
I hope he's not relevant.
I don't think he'll be relevant. It's just such a mush at running back this year that like if your running back is healthy, you're winning more often than not.
Yeah.
Unless his name is Najee Harris. But
KJ Osborne was better, but it's kind of tough to know what's going to happen with the quarterback situation there.
Taysom Hill is just weird.
It seems like Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed are guys that you like almost need to start when Christian Watson doesn't play. But I don't know what his injury is looking like this week.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that either. Um, it's just very strange. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. With this team, it's like it's all about Stafford. Is really kind of your big question mark because you have both Cooper Cup and Puka.
A couple bench pieces you can move though.
But Olave and McLaurin, you should be able to like move. I don't know. Would you trade Puka or Cup by any chance with this team?
Yeah, maybe one of them. I mean, I would even
Okay.
trade one of them just for equal value on a different team, just because I think your ceiling is kind of minimized when you have both guys on the same team. Like, you're never going to have a big week from both of them. You might guarantee yourself one of them being in the high teens or something like that, but you can't have two 20-point weeks in most cases. So I would trade Puka for like a Waddle or something that's like a kind of a 1v1 swap, just in a different offense, so you get kind of a different look at things.
Interesting. And what's the deal with Josh Palmer? I think he was basically a full go, right? Just out of curiosity, because I'm trying to like evaluate like Eckler's real positioning in that team, because I doubt that they'd really want to be like, hey, Quentin Johnson, the guy who has done nothing for
I
us.
think he played, but I want to say he might have gotten hurt again or something.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I saw him get like injured in the game, then I want to say he was like back out there, and I was really
I
confused.
think he got re-hurt. I don't think he came back in.
Okay, interesting. But Tyrese Halliburton is unreal. 7 points, 6 assists, and it's only the first.
I love
He
Halliburton, bro. He's
had
so
to get
good.
rushed into the tent. Let
Yeah.
me see what it.
You plan on dropping Najee when Connor comes back? That's fine. Would you say that Najee is droppable? I feel like he is, right?
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah. It feels weird saying that, but yeah.
Like, do you know?
Especially with this team, like I don't see him ever getting inserted into this lineup again once Connor's back.
Yeah, no, this lineup for sure.
I guess my question is like, do you know a single person that like when you talk to them about Najee Harris, they're like, yeah, Najee's awesome. Like,
No, but at the same time, I don't
He
think
is
I've
so
seen him on
slow.
waivers in any of my leagues. So
He's so slow.
true.
He's kind of just like a dude though that if you have a bye week, you can throw in and like he might score and get 70 yards or something. Like his floor is like 7 points maybe. Like I don't know who's on waivers, but he's a guy that on a bye you can start.
True.
I don't
for
know.
sure.
It's a weird one.
Let's see. All right, we got a few more added on here as we've kind of gotten going. It seems y'all enjoy our little chatter here. We got Megathan Jones sitting in at quarterback. I
It's a
mean,
weird start.
it looks like a very strong team in theory.
This person also traded Amon Ra for Pollard and Olave.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
Just now?
No. They said that to me when they submitted the team earlier today.
so they got
Oh, so they don't have Amon-Ra anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Does Detroit have a bye? Is this what their schedule looks like next week? Yeah, right?
I say has to be like another week.
I mean, this is clearly a deeper league, so it's tough to have too much
I would
help in
have
that
continued to
flex
start.
role. I think based on what your team looks like, trading Amon-Ra for those two guys seems like an awesome trade for you because now you don't have to start Jalen Warren and Christian Watson. And, I mean, Olave is not as good as Amon-Ra, but he does a job, and Pollard is a great third running back to add with those two. So
Thoughts on
I think it's a good
trading
trade overall. The Derrick Henry news sucks for all Tyjae Spears owners, but
what's the word on that again?
he's just not going to get traded.
Makes sense. I don't see why they would really pivot, to be honest. But I believe
there's two teams that they said were looking at running backs, though, so I don't know who they're going to get, but
Devin Singletary is looking real appealing. Yeah. Watson and Dotson for Debo is what this person is asking for this team. They would be trading both Watson and Dotson for Debo.
I mean, yeah.
Take it and run, yeah.
You heard them.
So then you could start Pollard and Debo as your flexes. The team looks way better after you do that.
Dude, who the hell is accepting that trade?
And then maybe take the Trey McBride advice, because Waller's probably going to be out for a bit.
Yeah. I just don't trust the Waller thing anymore. All my teams that had Waller on them are just gone. But yeah. Mac Jones didn't look terrible. Kirko 2 Chainz, who is now out for the whole entire season. I mean, this team in a PPR format looks absolutely cracked for the most part. Insane to think that Ayuk got over 100 yards but couldn't get home for a touchdown. I always find that interesting when that happens.
Eckler and Kamara is crazy in PPR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy sucks.
I mean, we have the main question with Hawkinson now. With Kirko, we really just don't know. That's really a big question.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, Purdy's still startable in fantasy, so yeah. I mean, it's not too much of a drop off. He's gonna probably get stats and get a lot of screen passes that go for 30, which are just as good as a 30-yard pass and fantasy wise. Yeah, I mean, you have enough, assuming your team stays healthy, you have enough depth to kind of survive bye weeks. But if guys go down, you're going to struggle, especially if you lose a running back. It's going to be tough to fill that in with just like Roschon and Singletary and stuff. But aside from that, I mean, the starting lineup is great. No real areas that need to be improved.
Yeah, I'm just going to double what Grant's saying there.
I like Downs a lot, though.
Yeah, I think Downs will be fine as well. How can we look at your team card? If you join the Discord and you DM our friend here, Jackson at Jamario Moon, like the former basketball player, we will tell you exactly how to get your team rated. But yeah, it's a really, really good team. I like it. You've got ascending pieces, realistically. I think Gabe Davis has honestly been performing just a lot better than what a lot of people are kind of giving him credit for. So I think he's technically a sell high candidate. And I think JSN's going to get better too. But I am very curious to see what's going to happen to your tight end situation here. Because Hawkinson will get the volume in theory. But we have zero idea who's really going to be going in at quarterback. I don't know. I feel like I would just be trying to tank if I was Minnesota and that happened with Kirk Cousins. I just feel like, screw it. Like, let's go get, like, Drake May or someone.
I still think Jefferson comes back this year, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, they're like, what, 4-4 or something now?
Something like that.
I don't know. I think he'll come back for a few games and then probably feel it out, but Nick Mullins is definitely not doing it for me.
He is not? He's not your favorite?
Nope.
Would you try and go out and get Andy Dalton?
That's not a bad shout. Neither is Brissett. I think both of those are probably kind of realistic and decent ideas. Aside from those two, though, I don't really know. There's not a ton of productive backups you can really think of. Mike White.
Mike White. The savior of Minnesota.
I'd be down for that.
I like the way that sounds.
Nah, the Niners won't get rid of him. I don't know.
All right. Moving forward. we like this team. Like, I still think, regardless, his team's going to be more than fine if it's in a PPR format. If it's in standard, though, then I have concerns because Eckler and Kamara in standard probably aren't nearly as good. But yeah. Whoa. Oh, Superflex. Gardner Minshew. Underrated fantasy quarterback at this point.
For real.
He's honestly been really good.
Also, this person has a waiver in for Will Levis, Browns D, and Devontae Smith.
And Devontae Smith?
This has to be a guillotine league. Like, that's...
I mean, this lineup is insane, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's a guillotine league, like, that happens. Like, that's a thing.
Is that where, like, the dude in last place's team gets...
Yeah, it just gets sent into the nether, essentially. And it's like, oh, everyone's on waivers. And that would make sense.
It's just someone just dropped him for Texans D, he said.
That's...
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the rest of his lineup is crazy. It's not like he's that much different. But T. Higgins, I will say this, 2-0 in reputation games. T. Higgins is my guy this week. Against the Bills on Sunday Night Football. Shootout, give me T. Higgins.
What makes this a reputation game for T. Higgins, according to Grant?
No, it's my reputation, not his.
Okay.
I was about to ask the same thing. I was like, damn, I didn't even know he was 2-0 in reputation games.
I was like, what is
No, I am.
Damn, I was getting kind of hyped.
He's my guy this week.
He's your guy.
Take it or leave it.
Take it to the bank, cash it. Don't spend all the money in one place, kids. But yeah, like, this is... Your quarterbacks are lacking. I will say that. Like, in reality, like, looking at everything else you have on this team, your quarterbacks are technically lacking.
Yeah, how would you guys trade for an elite quarterback with the pieces that they have on their team? Especially now that they have that extra depth from the Devontae pickup.
I mean, in theory, you could technically buy more for, like, trying to get Travis Kelce specifically for tight end, because that could also help this team.
He probably needs to pick up, like, Will Levis in a super.
Yeah.
They do have a waiver in for Levis.
Kyler's not going to play, and Kirk is out for the year, so you're going to need. Oh, he has a claim in.
Yep.
Nice.
I
think Levis. In terms of his priority of claims, Levis should be number one over Devontae Smith. Even though Devontae Smith is a way better player, you don't he's not necessary this week.
I think Devontae Smith by himself is worth a first-round quarterback. Basically, I mean, that's how we drafted it.
Yeah, but on this team, like, he's not probably going to start over Kupp, Allen, Bijan, T. Higgins, Waddle. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Many guys that.
Like,
that
send
having another
Smith
quarterback
away.
to start this week, to me, feels more important. But
yeah. Like, I'd be sending Devonta Smith away. That just seems like the simple answer. That makes sense here.
I think it does. I think him or Waddle or something.
And go upgrade your quarterbacks and maybe get Kelce for tight end. But for all we know, with kind of how this is going, he gets injured too. I mean, it's happened once this year.
What is?
Kelce.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she doesn't show up to a game, then all of a sudden he falls apart. Coincidence? I think not.
They were also just at the World Series. Kelce and Mahomes were at the World Series game on, like, Friday in, like, an entirely different state. Like, I feel like they're just checking off, like, side quests at this point. Like, they're not even that locked in. And now they're flying to Germany. Oh, my other
to take on the Finns.
Give me the Finns this week.
Let's go.
The Finns, my whole outlook on travel games is who
is Mahomes still, like, sick?
The Finns are flying today. They're already in Germany. The Chiefs don't fly in until Thursday night. So that does not bode well. I think the
that's
Finns
a
are
great
going to be
note.
locked in and and ready to face a different climate.
I think that's a really good note that a lot of people underlook. Like, yeah. The amount of time you spend in another country before you do something does factor in heavily.
Oh, totally.
You're not going to just, like, pop in and be like, all right, I'm Gucci.
Totally.
And a lot of people really underrate that. So, yeah. That's worth the 2 cents. But yeah, trade away some elite assets to go build up your quarterbacks further. That's really all you can do.
Have you guys ever looked at like data on like altitude differences affecting gameplay, like mountain teams playing in Florida and like vice versa and stuff like that?
I mean, that's why I took the Nuggets last year to take the like NBA championship, because I was like, if you look at it, it's just so much more difficult to play in elevation for any other team that's not like from it. And players talk about it from all the time, and the numbers back it up too.
There you go.
So
I know it's at like I look at it sometimes when it comes to like UFC, but I never really like thought about it with NFL.
Well, you look at like the Broncos, for example, and you're just like, well, they suck. But it's like if you're playing in Denver, that's such a difficult environment to have to play in. But yeah, get wrecked to Mahomes. All right, I think this is one of our last teams here that we have. Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown, Trey McBride, Jacoby Myers. I mean, nothing really going on in your bench that's really like awesome.
If you're in
They're dropping Odell, by the way.
If you're in chat, let me know how many points Jacoby needs for you to win.
Yeah. I like this team. I just look at the bench and I'm like, outside of Rice, like I just don't think like anyone is particularly relevant.
I like Pickens and Hunt. Hunt was good this week.
Yeah.
Pickens kind of up and down, but like if you have guys on a bye week, he's more than fine to slot in there. Like he's had a few huge weeks, and it seems like even in his bad weeks, he scores a touchdown like yesterday. So I'm not opposed to him. Also, I mean, Darrell had like 100 total yards from scrimmage, I think. I mean, he's not great, but he's not bad. Kareem Hunt seems like he has a chance to really take over the true RB1 role there. So he's definitely a guy I'm looking out for. But as long as you're healthy, none of these guys even really need to be that effective. Your starting lineup is more than fine.
He's fresh off the couch. Sorry, that was reference to Darrell Henderson, which is honestly impressive.
He is fresh off the couch.
Yeah, it's actually really impressive, like, thinking about it. I mean, he basically is, yeah.
He's such a random-ass dude. But like, I feel like even when he was really good, like, 2 years ago in fantasy, he's just, like, a name that is really random. I don't think anyone ever thought he was going to be that great, and then had a solid year, and now he's back. But
and now he's just here. He's doing his
putting
thing.
up a few numbies.
What running back would you be trading for if you're trying to trade Kyren away? Which I feel like is hard to do when players are on injury reserve specifically. Especially when they're not like the biggest of names.
I don't know. Maybe like, what is James Conner's timetable?
2 more weeks, or 1 more. He's eligible to return after 1 more week, but it might be longer than that.
Problem is, like, there's just so many damn injuries in the NFL right now that, like, everybody that's attached to someone, because he's saying Kyren plus Amari, like, I don't know if I really want Amari right now, because I don't know what the hell is going on at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And when Deshaun Watson
Kyren plus Amari for what, exactly?
As just, like, a base idea for, like, brainstorming purposes of a range.
Yeah.
It just, like, I don't know. I have a lot of concern about players in general.
You're just concerned.
Pretty much. I'm like a mother in that sense. I just have lots of concern. But no. Like, think about that, right? Like, if Deshaun Watson sucks, then do you really want Amari? Because, like, those two things really go together.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on is it this guy or just as someone in general?
Just in general, like,
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your depth and what you need. Like, if you are like that one guy that we saw earlier who was starting Christian Watson and like Jalen Warren or something, then like Amari Cooper is helpful. But if you're that dude that picked up Devontae Smith off waivers, then like having Amari Cooper is not worth it at all. So it just entirely depends on the situation you're in and the kind of league you're in.
yeah. Like, I like this person just asked, like, what is Puka particularly worth, like, a high end wide receiver, too? And I don't know. Perhaps it's just how my brain thinks, but I just look at it and I'm like, I don't really want to know, like, not want to know, but like know how I want to be going about the Puka situation because it's like if Stafford's out for a longer period of time, like how they went about the whole entire Kyron Williams situation, that I don't particularly want to be attached to Puka or Cooper Cup. Because it's a completely different like ball game in itself.
Yeah.
But,
Guys, where do I go with myself after basically this being the first week to bench DeAndre Hopkins on my teams in multiple leagues?
cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Will Levis.
yeah. There's just no way predicting that. Like every quarterback that's considered to be pretty good, that's gone against Atlanta has had decent level of difficulty to connect with their wide receiver one. So no one thought that freaking Mayo boy was gonna go out there and become prime Brady.
I like Will Levis though.
I do too. I think he's actually a nice guy. But will be fun to see exactly how he progresses here. For those asking exactly how to get their teams rated, so what you do is you join the Discord, and then you DM Jackson at Jamario Moon. So Jamario, so Ja like Ja Morant, Mario like Super Mario Brothers, and Moon like the big thing outside that controls the waves and stuff.
Like GameStop.
Like GameStop. But yeah, that's how you get your team checked out exactly. But I do want to find something that makes the PC streaming more entertaining.
Why is the PC streaming any less like entertaining than the phone streaming, or is it just like
I don't think so. Like I don't understand how I go on and I watch people like play games on PC, but like they're kind of known streamers, so to speak, and they just get like thousands of views, but sometimes I'll go in and check them and they get like 50, 60 views. Like I just don't understand why PC doesn't really get too much volume. But like if you go on like iPhone, I think the big thing that I learned today is that like unless it's me directly talking about like fantasy football, with like my top 5 for that week, people are not nearly as interested, which is kind of interesting. Because
yeah, it is interesting.
more often than not, it would be.
Well, algorithm's a weird one.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird place. I'm curious to see how that Kick app works. We're just gonna start playing with a lot of random things and seeing what works, if anything works.
Jackson and I might be playing FIFA in a future stream if that would interest you guys.
I mean,
Yeah, let us know in the chat if you'd like to see me smack Grant in FIFA.
it's definitely a possibility. Jacobs or Myers, they're down by 15. Is it PPR or half PPR? Knowing the scoring is very important. Because if we don't know the
I would
score,
say if you needed to guarantee yourself 8 points, I would start Josh Jacobs, but I think in a game where the Raiders might be down, if you need 15, Jacoby probably has a better chance of getting there.
Yeah. The Raiders might be down. Keyword might.
We got another team, by the way.
Another team in this bit. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Let's see here. We got Hurts, McCaffrey, Pacheco, Diggs, St. Brown, Nico Collins, TJ. I mean, it's just another really cracked team. Yeah.
Dang it.
I just get excited and then like I become depressed because I'm like, this is a team that I don't have, unfortunately, because my league.
The second Kyren comes back, trade his ass.
Yeah, I that's something I wish I did more of, was trading off Kyren. It's a 12.
Same with maybe Jacobs.
Jesus.
I mean, your starting roster is very good, and so you don't need much help. I guess the depth is important, but trade one of those guys for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think this team is very strong. Like.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
I don't think JMO's your answer, personally, but that's just me. But yeah, I like it. I don't really have anything particular to say about this one. Like, I wouldn't change anything because, like, realistically, I want to be behind Pacheco because I just think he's behind too good of an offense at this point, to where it's like, just don't overthink it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Which is what I'm going to start doing with a lot more fantasy drafts. Got too much into the numbers. I don't know. I'm just going to keep ranting about fantasy basketball at this point because I'm bored. And you're stuck with me for a minute. Not really, though.
Type yes in the comments if you play fantasy basketball.
They're wondering how many passing yards Jared Goff will have.
281.
200.
We were pretty close together.
Yeah, pretty close.
It's a pretty bold prediction there.
I feel like neither of those are that crazy.
No, they're really not. Yo, how are the...
I mean, he could easily be over 300 in this game. Who knows?
Yo, Brandon Miller actually having himself a decent game? What?
No.
16 points and 3 rebounds in the first half so far? Not too
LaMelo with 0 fantasy points? Come on, bro.
No, LaMelo's got some. But, like, they said he was going to be limited.
Mark Williams, 12 and 13 right now. Animal.
Cooking.
Rams is a freaking beast. Happy I chose that game over the Bulls-Pacers one to focus on.
Nico Collins. CJ Stroud was disappointing this week.
You think so? I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a spot for him to have a huge game, and it was definitely not that.
Yeah, I said he was a must start. That was a lie.
At least we can still count on Grant's takes.
Yeah. What's funny, though, is that, like, I was like, you know what's probably the best start is Dak Prescott this week. And I placed, like, top 10 in DFS. So I was like, oh, well, nice.
Nice.
But you didn't, like...
You didn't start Sam Howell?
But I didn't tell everyone to start him. No, I didn't. I thought about that because I was like, what are the chances this is just like... Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, this, what's the chances this is just like a rehash of like what we saw last time?
Yeah.
But I feel like
it was for AJ and Devontae.
Yeah. Also, you see, Celtics are winning by 34.
Yeah, this game sucks.
Right.
Like, that's just...
It's literally just Jordan Poole driving up and down, throwing up shots, getting blocked, and then, like, taking a step-back jumper or kicking it to, like, Danny Avdija for 3.
I can't, like, I always find it weird when I look at, like, fantasy stuff and I just see, like, Danny Avdija, like, actually, like, being relevant somehow. And I'm just really confused.
He's one of those names that just like name value alone literally like makes it so hard for me to add him to my team.
No, because I just look at it and I'm like, I can't put you on my team. I'm sorry.
Tyus Jones is a good basketball player. I don't know why he's trapped on this team, but
Tyus is very good. I also was switching my teams around last second in DFS, and I can't tell if I like it more or less, because right now the 3 guys I had in my core are playing better than what I had. So good job, self. Anger.
Do we have any more teams, Jackson? Or are we
I think
done?
This was probably our last one.
Let's see.
Cooked.
No, yeah, we're cooked.
Cooked.
It's just more about me ranting to you two and the other 6 people in this stream about random things. Like, I'm telling you, dude, like, the TikTok algorithm hates desktop for whatever reason, it feels like.
I mean, I believe it. I believe that there's something like coded in there that's like makes it less accessible for big business.
Which is fine,
yeah,
I guess. But at the same time, I just kind of look at it and I'm like, it's so annoying. Because, like, I just think there should be a more systemic way of, like, getting viral and random shit.
Well,
like
the 1,000 followers thing is pretty exclusive role, like.
Yeah, getting those first 1,000 is really difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Like where we've gotten now, it's like a lot like easier in theory. But
should we just spam like the TikTok videos you post with one of our links so one of us gets to 1,000 and then you could have 2 of us in a stream?
There's ways to go about it. Like,
I feel like we could farm 1,000 followers.
I think we easily could, and I think we're gonna really just have to sit down and come up with like a strategy of how we want to approach this better. Because it's like I think we've done a decent job, but like I think we can go about it a lot better. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Like we've already doubled plenty, within the short time that has been NFL season. But we'll kind of go from there. But for those of you watching via subscription, this is where I'm going to cut you off. So thank you.